Okay, so hi, my name is Pranav Naik. I am software engineer at Josh, and since past 2 years I am working with Josh. So, topic for today is unleashing the power of JavaScript. So, in today's talk, we will be covering the real life applications of JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript is quite popular in web development. So you can see that in 2014 it was having 4.5 million users, and in 2023 it is about to hit 11.5 million users. Let me give you a brief history about JavaScript. Okay, so it starts in early 1990s when Netscape and Microsoft were like rivals. They were having rivalry in their for their browsers. So Netscape's navigation and Microsoft's Internet Explorer were having a head-to-head rivalry in browsers. So in September 1995, a Netscape programmer whose name is Brandon H. developed a new scripting language in just 10 days. And that was initially called Mocha, and later it called LiveScript, and later it got named to JavaScript. So how it got named to JavaScript? So it is actually a funny story. It does not have any basis to get called JavaScript, because simply Netscape's browser was supporting Java applet. I hope Java applet everyone knows. It supports web development, right? So since it was supporting Java applets, they started calling it JavaScript. But another reason was core Java was in boom. So it was like very popular in those days. So to divert some attention to the LiveScript, they changed it to JavaScript. Okay. So we'll talk a bit more about history. So in 1997, due to JavaScript's rise, the Netscape decided to hand over it to a proper company to manage it. Okay, and that was European Computer Manufacturer Association, which is ECMA. So later they registered the name ECMA, and that's how it got its new name, that is ECMAScript. So if you guys know, JavaScript is nothing but ECMAScript, right? Have you heard ECMAScript version ES6, ES7, something like that? Okay, so this is the history of ECMAScript. So after the handover, in past 2 decades, they came up with the new improvements. In those 10 days, the founder was, like you can see, founder was not able to include all the things. So currently in 2023, we have ECMAScript version 14, ES14. Okay, so now let's talk about the real-time applications. Okay, so we can create interactive web applications. So what is interactive web applications? So basically, have you heard of responsive designs? Right, correct, right? CSS and those things. What are responsive designs? So whenever you change the size of screens, the website should adapt the size, right? So that is one thing. Second thing, events, keyboard events and mouse events. So your website should be able to handle those events. Third thing is CSS and animations. So all these things makes our website responsive and reactive. So here JavaScript has edge over other scripting language, and that is Angular and React, right? Angular from Google and React from Facebook. Everybody knows, right? Irony is Google is having opening for React, so that is another thing. Yeah. So next important thing is building cross-platform mobile applications. So currently, how do we create a mobile application? If it is an Android platform, you need to learn Android. You need to have a Android Studio installed in your PC. Similarly, for iOS, you need to have Swift language, correct? That setup, it need to be there. You need to be learning Swift, have some training, and then you can build applications, right? Again, since they both are different platforms, they have to be built, they have to be created a native build in their respective platforms. So JavaScript provides us frameworks like React Native and Ionic. So, so basically that enables us to keep the same code base, and then generate the build native to the platform. So, like if you guys are thinking to have a career in mobile development, JavaScript is a best place to start. So next thing is creating desktop applications. So what we saw that we can create web applications, interactive web applications. Then we covered cross-platform mobile applications, and now even you can create standalone softwares using JavaScript. So this is possible because of a framework called Electron.js. Okay, so currently, so let's take an example that I want to create a music player, and I want that music player to be available for all the platforms. That is Linux, Microsoft, and Apple. So what I need to do? I need to hire 3 different teams for the same purpose, to create a music player. So instead of that, here as well, I can have same code base, and I can generate the builds native to those platforms. So that gives me much power, that saves my money, that saves my time. So it is like JavaScript. So it is like if you know JavaScript, you have exposure to many topics. You want to go for mobile development, you can. You want to go for standalone software development, you can. So it actually breaks the dependencies on platforms. So that is why it is a breaker of chains. So apart from that, there is a very big application of server-side development, correct? That is server-side web applications. So so basically, when we think of JavaScript, we think of client-side, right? Like it will run on client's machine. So fortunately, in 2009, Ryan Dahl created Node.js. So what he did earlier, JavaScript comes with browser, right? So it operates on browser itself. So Ryan Dahl made use of Chrome V8 engine and libuv to install it on operating systems. Okay, so what libuv did, libuv gave it the power to run on cross platforms. Either it may be Mac, Linux, or Windows. Yeah, so now there are ways to communicate with server, right? So like I'm a client-side app, and I want to communicate with server, my server app. So let's explore those. So first one is RESTful APIs. I guess you might have heard of it. It's in your syllabus, right? So what is RESTful API? So RESTful API is an architecture that allows data to communicate between 2 independent systems. Okay, so basically consider RESTful API as half duplex communication mode. Half duplex, remember graduation? Okay, fine. So what does it mean? It means that communication will happen in both ways, but one request at a time. Correct? So as a client, I will send a request for data. Server will respond to that request by sending the response back. So usually we use RESTful API widely in our industry, but at some point there is a need of communicating server and client simultaneously, both ways. That is full duplex, right? So for that purpose, JavaScript support WebSockets as well. So what WebSocket does? So WebSocket basically tells that, okay, it doesn't matter if client does not told me. If there is something for me, if there is some event for me to emit, to inform client, I'll do that on my own. I don't need some client application to poll me. So example for WebSocket will be live streaming and games. So a real life example would be, let's say you are building some application and that application needs to send a notification, let's say at 3 p.m. So so basically we do schedule cron jobs. Those are used to execute certain scripts on particular time. So now once the time of cron job hits, our server side application knows that, hey, this event has occurred to me, and now I need to communicate with the client. Yeah, you can build command line scripting using JavaScript. So why it is required? So basically what happens, there are certain scenarios when you need to run the command line scripting code, such as, let's say you are using Google Cloud or AWS Cloud. Have you ever heard of AWS? Did you guys got chance to use AWS? No? Okay. So AWS JavaScript SDK has certain commands which has to be fired from terminal itself. So instead of creating a separate bash file, then forking it, and then running the child, it is a very tedious procedure. So JavaScript allows us to do it without leaving the data. And what is the plus point of that? That whatever error happens after executing the command or success happens, that we can catch and continue our business logic. So apart from that, like when I was at your age, in my internship, I got a chance to work on IoT, Internet of Things. Raspberry Pi, anyone heard of Raspberry Pi? Yes, right? So what does Raspberry Pi has? Raspberry Pi is a microcontroller. It has its own memory, right? It has an operating system installed on it. So since it has operating system installed on it, we can install Node.js over it. And Node.js provides a wide range of SDKs, to interact with ports, to interact with pins, and even to interact with the sensors to collect the data. So that was something very new for me, and it was a very great learning experience. Apart from that, you can make use of JavaScript in smart TV as well. So basically, what platforms do we have for smart TVs? One is Android, second is Apple. But those got famous very recently, right? In last 5-6 years. So before that, smart TVs do exist. There is a wide variety of smart TVs which runs on web browsers. I mean, their operating system itself is a web browser, just like Chrome OS. So, fortunately, I got the chance to work on those as well. So there, the restriction was for memory, right? They have very less memory, and since college itself, we are taught that our code should be, very optimized with respect to time, right? O rest O n square, all those things you remember, right? What is that? Time complexity, right? Correct. So such projects and such works make us think in the way that we should work on space complexity as well. Because nowadays we don't think about space because we have big memories, big servers. So if you guys are willing to pursue a career in such thing as well, like media and all, so you have to be conscious and be space, memory efficient as well.